Hi guys, I'm Brandon and this is my review of the Nike Structure 24. Last year, Nike took their last true stability trainer, the Structure, and they transformed it into a stable neutral trainer. Now when I tested the Structure 23, I was really astonished how different it was compared to previous structures, which were firm and stiff. The Structure 23 felt much more cushioned and much more flexible, and I liked the new direction that it had gone in. The Structure 23 was one of the biggest updates in the history of Nike, so it makes sense that version 24 is one of the smallest updates. The Structure 24 maintains the same midsole and outsole as last year, but it gets a new upper. It weighs 0.8 ounces or 23 grams more than its predecessor, and it still has an 8mm drop and a price of $120. In the running shoe world, it's not often that an updated version is so similar to the previous version that if you were blindfolded and you had both versions on, one on each foot, you wouldn't be able to tell the difference. And that was the case with the Structure 24. My first run was a 10K easy run, and the ride of the Structure 24 felt identical to the Structure 23. I could still feel the prominent airbag in the forefoot, and the ride felt supportive without being firm or stiff. It felt great right out of the box with no braking needed, and the upper felt secure without me having to readjust or use a runner's knot. The word that describes the ride of the Structure 24 best is balanced. It feels well cushioned without being mushy or firm, and it can be a daily trainer, a recovery shoe, or a long run shoe. It's not the best shoe for speed work though, because of its flexible forefoot and its plush upper that makes it feel weighty, but it can do everything else. I used my Structure 24 for mainly easy middle distance runs, although it is capable of slightly faster efforts. It's one of the only Nike trainers that use CMP 010 foam in its midsole, and I prefer it to the more popular React foam. It feels softer and more spongy than that dense rubbery feeling of React. There's also a small Zoom Air unit in the forefoot, and that's situated under the ball of the foot, unlike in the Pegasus and the Vomero where it covers the entire forefoot. The Structure 24 definitely isn't as stable as the Structure 22 or previous versions that came before the 22. And that's because of how soft its midsole is. But it's still an incredibly stable ride, and it's one of the most stable neutral shoes that you can buy. The stability comes from its wide base and its built up midsole on the medial side, which prevents excessive inward ankle roll. And I prefer this modern, less intrusive method of stability than traditional firm medial posts which poke into your arch. The outsole of the Structure 24 has hard carbon rubber on its heel and softer blown rubber on its midfoot and its forefoot. The outsole rubber is thick, durable, and should last over 1,000 kilometers. I already have 80 kilometers on my pair, and the outsole looks unblemished, which is very impressive. Outsole durability has always been a strength of Nike running shoes. There are 3 flex grooves on the forefoot of the Structure 24, and these help with flexibility, and they make the ride feel more relaxed. There's also a teardrop shaped cavity under the heel, and this helps to save weight and increases heel cushioning. Traction is excellent on all types of terrain in both wet and dry conditions because of the soft rubber that's on the midfoot and the forefoot. The upper of the Structure 24 is reminiscent of one found on a max cushioned trainer, and it's on par with the Vomero 16 in terms of comfort. It has a stout internal heel counter and a Plush Heel Tab, which provide a good, secure heel lockdown. The inside lining is smooth and it won't irritate your foot if you don't wear a sock. The tongue is thick and it's attached to an inner sleeve. I found that there was no tongue slide, but the upper was very warm because of the internal sleeve and because of all the padding. The easiest way to tell the difference between the Structure 23 and the Structure 24 is the engineered mesh that's used. On the Structure 23 there were perforations on the midfoot and on the top of the toe box, but on the 24 there's no longer perforations and it's smooth, so it feels more streamlined. There are also no longer reflective strips on the sides of the toe box like on the Structure 23, but there are still reflective strips on the sides of the heel counter. The fit is true to size and it's suitable for wide feet because of how accommodating the midfoot and the forefoot are. Last year, while testing the Structure 23, I thought that it was only good for slower paced, easy or recovery runs. This year, I intentionally took the Structure 24 out on faster paced runs, between 4 minutes 30 and 5 minutes per kilometer, and its performance was stellar. The Structure 24 was a lot more versatile than I thought it was going to be. It also has a plush, comfortable upper, a highly cushioned midsole, and a resilient outsole. After the Invincible run, the Structure 24 is the next softest trainer in the Nike performance range. So if you found the Invincible run too unstable, too fragile, or too expensive, the Structure 24 is a great alternative, which is $60 cheaper than the Invincible run. If you already have the Structure 23, then the Structure 24 is a version you can skip. But if you don't have the Structure 23, the two versions are so similar that you can get the Structure 23 and save some money. It's lighter and it has exactly the same ride as the Structure 24. If you haven't watched my Structure 23 review, you can find it on Running Shoes Guru. Thanks for watching, and please remember to like the video and subscribe to Running Shoes Guru.